Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to Dovetail Euro Fishing, where indeed it is time to relax in the fishing department again, and I feel like we might as well go to the Foundry Dock once more, because I feel there's still stuff to check out and try in there, and I just wanna see if I can maybe at some point, hopefully, get let's say, a really big, uh, I'm forgetting the, like, boss fish carps or something like so. Like, I know they are there because there's a list of them in the, like, game menus. I just need to get lucky enough to actually catch one. Obviously, it's a matter of complete luck if that happens to be the case, so, we don't know. But let's just, we can be hopeful and see what we can see. But the important bit is that we are going next to some lovely water and having a good old time relaxing and casting the rod into the lake, which, or is it technically speaking then a part of the, like, seawater if it's in the Foundry Dock? But I'm not sure because you don't see the edges, at least in the at least in the map there. But that remains to be seen. Actually, I might be able to check that if I just walk to the walk forward here and see if I can see the edge of the lake. Well, no, we probably can't. It looks like it doesn't have an edge there, but then again, that does make sense because in the end, it is a place of you know, if it's a dock, it does kind of make sense that it's probably connected to the sea or ocean by some form. That's usually how it goes. Not always, mind you, but it's oftentimes that. Or it could, like, there are obviously a bunch of them which are connected to just massive lakes, but you know what I mean. My blind guess would be seawater, but you'll hopefully forgive me if I call it a lake at some point. And instead of teleporting to the other side, I just went for a little bit of a stroll in the walkways here to reach. I believe here around is a spot I can claim. Yes, good. Let's just take that. Thank you. And I'm actually curious because I'm wondering if I can catch fish from very close to the edge there of that, let's call it a drive in or drive down spot of the dock there. So, okay. So the first cast, we'll probably just get it to the land at first, and then we'll reel it in to be just barely in the water. That went really far. Also, again the might yep. Oh, the game says no. Apparently, it felt that was a bit too far to the land there. Let's do a new attempt. A very well, not that short of a throw that either, I suppose. Well, at least better. So there we are. But I'm not sure if 0.1 meters is enough to actually, like, get a fish in there. But let's just keep that there for reference's sake, say, and see what the other things we have. Oh, also, I'm using again the same tackle box and such that I used for this lake in the previous cases with the Sonic Tornos 10,000 Real and Corda 25 Supernatural as the line, and Corda IQ D-Rig 4 is the hook in all of them. I believe I'm forgetting if one of them was gravel and the other was silt, but that's neither here nor there. But the main point is that the bait is also, it should be the same that the baits were last time in that. I'm wondering if I can just, yeah, so it's a oh crap, right, that means I should probably, when I pick up the third rod, I should right, I should absolutely put a different bait in it. Ooh, tiger or quarter dumbbell? Let's do a floating tiger, because that's, for some reason, for some inexplicable reason, it has always been somewhat helpful to me. That might be a bit too weak of a throw. Yeah, we're not going that deep, at least not yet. So the thing is, this is my kind of like a, let's say, a fun little test fishing to see if the fish can be caught from that spot. That's pretty good, yeah. Can I... Oh. For some reason it wouldn't let go of it. Let's just try it again. So, again, put that there. So, it's perfectly possible, therefore, that this time there might not be... that's actually a pretty good one right there. So, just... Why do you not let it go? I mean, I can hold on to it. That's an option, sure, but... Huh. That's very strange. That's very strange. Why does it not allow me to put the rod down? There shouldn't be an issue with that, right? What a weird thing. What a truly strange thing. But we're gonna get through it. That's again somewhat far away there, but let's see if we can just reel it into the water here. All nice and well. Apparently, no, we can't. Could it be that the number 3 rod is just so... that the angle is so weird for the number 3 rod that it won't work? Like here it lets me put it down. So... I don't know what the issue was before. But I actually want to put it a little closer to the edge there. So if I can do that... So yeah, as I was mentioning, it's perfectly possible that there's not going to be any fish for a number of minutes, at least in the beginning here. But that's fine. This is an experimentation of the fun kind, yes. And the important bit still, of course, is to just relax and enjoy the water and the weather and the concept of what we are doing here. That's actually pretty good. Just a tiny reel into... There you are. I think that's what I... Yeah, let's keep it there. And now it allowed me to put the rod down anyway. So, I would have to imagine that at least the number 2... oh, speaking of enjoying the weather, I think it's starting to rain a bit. But that's the thing. It's more interesting to have different sorts of weather, you see. And water is important, hey. So yeah, and it's just it gives a bit more of a difference in the experience. Not always have clear weather, and I would have to imagine that different sorts of weather also give different sorts of fish. So for all we know, it could actually work in our favor. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm probably going to, at least for 5-ish minutes, I'm going to let that, like, those baits, like, sit there and see, like, do they get moving or not. And while we wait for that, we can just take in our surroundings, and indeed the water is still dangerously deep and there's no swimming, but what are these flowers over here? These yellow ones. They look kind of interesting, and it's fun to have some lovely nature on the side of our industrial waters here to give some oxygen to the aesthetics here, if you will. So there's that, and there's some purple ones as well, right there in the foreground as well. How cool! Oh, it's really starting to rain, but hey, that's fine. My only regret is that we don't have a chair here, which might have come in handy if we would get one. But you can't have everything in life. You gotta, try to be happy with the things you do have. That's an important bit in living a more or less content and happy life, I hear. So that's probably the case. This rain does remind me of a story that my parents actually told me this one about, when they were at a cabin. It was near this large lake area of Saimaa, I believe. And suddenly, they were just minding their own business there, and suddenly, this just giant, massive, and very just whoa, we had movement. Careful now. It didn't stick in there, but we have movement. That means that one of those three, very possibly number two, but nonetheless, has some interest in it. That's good. And anyway, where was I? Right. In the story. So essentially, what we right. So there was this a giant thunderstorm just broke out. It was very forceful. Interesting point. Finland is not usually an area of really extreme weather phenomena. So we don't have tornadoes of any worth mentioning. We may have tiny ones, but not enough to create genuine property damage, or that sort of stuff. And so therefore, oftentimes people are not expecting really forceful weather displays, especially not say 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even maybe, when the global warming effect wasn't so severe then yet. Anyway, so they were just minding their own business, my parents there, and suddenly the storm broke out, and in a few minutes, a rowboat just came into their this small pier, and they were like, "Oh wait, what's this now?" I mean, they realize that it was a really forceful thunderstorm, but still oh well, okay, hi, what's with you? And then they looked into the boat, and it had two people, a pair of, I would have to imagine, a man and his wife. And it turns out that well, the rowboat was flooding with water, not because it was leaking, but because the rain was so hard that the boat was filling up pretty fast. So they just the man just started rowing the boat like a maniac to the nearest island, which was the one that my parents were having a vacation on. They had what's the word? They had rented a cabin, say. And we have number one. I'll continue the story in just a bit. I want to see what fish took the number one. The the bait that was the closest to the shore there, which is pretty interesting. Obviously, it had rolled a bit deeper over these minutes, but still, that's cool. That still reinforces the point that every spot that just goes in the water can yield fish. And there's another one. There we go. This actually took a bit longer than I expected to get fish. I haven't tried this one, I think. Now I'm second guessing myself. I might have, but a very, very long time ago. Anyway, but yeah, usually these things happen quicker, but there we go. We catch the fish in a rather interesting way through the floor. That's fine. And it is a... What were those again? Tenches? Yeah, a tench of 2.88 kilograms, and we gotta do stuff. We have both of our... Yeah, let's just hope we get all of them. We probably won't, because... Or we possibly won't, because, well, that's how these things sometimes work. But that's fine. The important bit is to relax. And, yeah, so while I'm reeling this one in, I might as well continue on with the story. So, yeah, so the man had been rowing like a maniac to the closest island, which was a spot where my parents had rented a cabin for a week or something. And yeah, it was a pretty strange sight because, like, they were rather the people on the boat were like rather upset, like, oh man, like, what is this raid, like, just. But hey, it all ended well, so you know, they just, hey, well, do come to the island, whatever, that's you know, out of the rain and inside and all that stuff, and everyone's fine and happy, and they got an interesting, you know, slice of life moment when just a couple of people needing some shelter just came to them, and sure, they gave the shelter. That's... I find moments like that, you know, just encouraging to think about it. You know, in times of need, of even natural disasters and such, people will help each other. Common carp, 10.61 kilograms. Okay, and the last one, will we get it? Will we get it? We probably will, yes, good. Luckily we got all three. That's kinda cool. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's the biggest possible carp or fish to get from this lake, but there should be somewhere in these waters there should be a few carp that are considerably larger than the ones we've gotten so far. It's, you know, we might not get to them because we can't, like, you know, always just be in the Foundry Dock. I'm probably gonna do at least one more in Foundry Dock, but not like, you know, 3 or something. 1 or 2, probably 2 more. Like I think that sounds about right. And ooh, and we can now catch the third fish of the bunch, and that would be, like, again, taking it through the floor there because we are so a badass fisherman, you see, and that's a cool color for a fish. A common carp of 5.16 kilograms, not a huge fish, but, mind you, that's a pretty cool color, I like it. Okay then, and since we now have all 3 of these there, we might as well pick up the number 2 rod and change that bait again to the Koda dumbbell, for example. The fourth one, the caster's bait, is essentially just a backup for the notions of, well, if I ever at some point with this setup want to try to catch, like, I don't know, specimen roaches or something, I have something that usually roaches might go for. That's the reasoning I had for that, but right now that's not what we're after. I haven't gotten a roach in this place. There is at least one because there's a boss fish roach in this well, lake, even though it's possibly an some seawater, but still. Oh, that's a longer cast than I expected. There you go. There, you stay there. But that might be a bit of a difficult thing to do. Like I'm under the impression that getting the boss fish roach requires just such insane amounts of luck that it's kind of like we would be here for like 15, 20 episodes if we just try to focus on that. I might put like one rod as a caster's bait rod just to change it up. Maybe on the next episode even. But essentially, like, don't expect to see the... Oh, okay. We have a very quick fish then. Like, don't expect to see a roach in these because, yeah, it is, I feel, very, very rare to get that. Probably even rarer than getting a super big carp. But it's obviously possible. I haven't checked the achievements for this for quite some time, but I wanna say that there's an achievement for getting or at least one of each species of fish in this lake, and ergo, one of those species would then be the roach. So, because I think I've gotten every other kind of fish that's possible. Also, I might be wrong, but roach might actually be even mentioned in the the game menu of choosing the lake. A roach might be mentioned in the species that are in this place, so that's also a point to remember. And again, having the rods being thrown this far is actually kind of useful, because one can, for a lot of the reeling, one can just hold the reeling button down and just let the fish tire itself out for most of the experience here, until it comes really close to me, when I need to start moving the rod a bit to try to keep the tension at an optimal level. But that went pretty well, I feel. Ooh, 11.01 common carp. Not too bad, not too bad. And I didn't want to stay on the carp for too long, because we have a fish to reel in here. Good. It went 72 meters away, but I also did cast the rod fairly far away, so I wouldn't be too impressed with that yet. Of course, it could then turn out to be a giant fish of whatever, but it might not be that. It's an indication sometimes, but sometimes not, how far they manage to go. It is coming in rather easily, but then again, so was the 11 kilogram carp a moment ago, so let's just see what we get. I might even have to put the tension up if this continues to be the case, where the tension is lower than it really usually should be, but just take it easy, take it slow, don't... There we go. Trashing around a bit at the end there, but we're still fine. Oh, and a small-ish tench of 2.29 kilograms. There we are. Oh, I was just about to mention the color and whatever, but we have a large sweet corn double eater. So again, 72 meters away, and let's see what we get from this one. Getting all 75 even. It's still getting away at the beginning of my reeling. I'm reeling it in as we speak, but because of the low tension, it's able to go away from me, and it's still doing that. Again, let's not get our hopes up too much. It could be just a normal yet aggressive fish. It's perfectly possible. But I am kind of impressed at the strength it's doing here. It's still pulling. There we go. I finally got it to start very, very slowly and vaguely coming back to me. But 87 meters. That is not bad. That is not bad at all. Wow. But yeah, I do hope the story about the rain and the rowboat and the all that wasn't too exciting, but it was still a positive story, and it warms my heart. That's the point. So let's just see if we can reel this bad boy in. It's going to be curious. I don't know. I hope it's big, but you never know. You never know. You just take what you get and see what we can see. Come now, come to Creo Sticks. Yes, yes, it's going to be just fine. And you're gonna get like a breath of fresh air and all that good stuff. So yes, it's healthy. Let's just say that it is. Yes, it's just let's just claim that it is and call it a day. Yes, come on, just take it easy. Okay, it might be a normal fish, but let's just see, like, through the floor again, and not too little. 10 something, maybe? 11.26. I'm forgetting what the first fish was, but I think that's the biggest one in this session, maybe? Still, that's pretty good. And we still have a few minutes, so I think I'm gonna throw one more trio of these. We're gonna keep the baits the same and go to the right a bit. Like, there you go, that's a good spot. And one to the very right, like all the way there-ish. It might be going to the dry land now, let's see. Yep. Can we reel it to the water? It might bug out and... Oh, yep, fine, good. 40 meters away and into the silt. That's good. And the final cast. Let's put it right in the direction of the crane at full strength-ish. A bit less than that, but still. Here we are. 80 meters away. Well, 79. Yep, and 3.1 meters deep. Perfect. And indeed, I don't know if we'll be reeling 3 more fish in, but, we'll get the ones that we'll have the time to do here. And the weather is starting to clear up again. It's still raining a bit, but, the sky is starting to be bright again, so it probably won't rain for much longer. And I had a thought, and then I kind of maybe lost it again. I'd love to go for a bit of a swim if I could, because that would really refresh the mind, let's say. Yes, very good. And, oh, we have one in the, again, double large sweet corn. Let's see what we get. And just reel it in nice and smooth. Keeping the button down at all times with the 25 tension, but not trashing around. We'll just let the fish just swim away its energy until it has the calmness left to take the breath of fresh air with me and see what it is. Come now, just... He doesn't want to cooperate just yet, but he'll come around, or she, it, anyway. Just let it nice and smooth. We need to negotiate with it to make it understand that it's a fun thing to be in my arms for a moment and be all cataloged and all that stuff. So I mean, we do let them go. It's although, as I've mentioned a number of times, I feel like fishing should be about, eating the fish that you get, but oh well. Or at least that's what most of the fishing that I've, at least in Finland, I think most of the fishing that happens is to eat the fish. If we get more than we can eat at one time, we're just prepare it to be done to food and then just freeze it. So there's that. So, ooh, there we go. Very good. And let's see what you are. That's just nice and smooth. Ooh, a leather carp, I think. Or a mirror one, because it has the the back scales there. Yeah, mirror carp. 10.5. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I didn't realize the line of back scales there immediately, but yeah, that is a mirror carp. And this time I'm not gonna... Oh, I was about to say that I'm not going to cast the rod back in because we're running low on time here. But I'm obviously gonna get at least this fish in. And if the other rod starts alarming as well, then I'll take that as well. So you know, we don't end on a cliffhanger quite that bad. But just come to Creostix. Like I realize the crane is all, you know, exciting and interesting in the distance there, but I promise you that being here is much more fun and constructive. Even though the crane is made to construct things. But anyway, it's better here and not there where it's wetter. Yes, good. Ooh, and it's also not a super let's say cooperative boy, this one. Let's just come now. Nice and smooth. We've had a number of carps of a similar weight class in this. Like, it seems that there's a lot of these 10 and 11 carps in this lake, which is actually kind of good, because I think the bigger the fish is, the more experience and all that good stuff you get, so that's always a, you know, a point in our direction. Come on, you can do it. It'll be just fine, I promise, and it'll be all great, and you can have a deep breath and then continue on swimming around with your friendos in the water. Just nice and easy. Don't break your mouth on that. It'll be just fine. Just fine. Just take it easy. Come now. Very nice and smooth. There you go. At the very end there, I sort of pumped the reel button a bit to avoid issues with the tension. A common carp of 9.68, but that's a nice shape and color and all that for a fish, though. That looks kind of good. But yeah, with that though, we're all out of time for this episode, and I do think I'll be probably making either one or two more in the Foundry Dock. I got a feeling the next spot that I'm gonna fish in will be the pier on the opposite bank there, because it'll give a bit of a different scenery to our exploits here. But indeed, if that one rod starts alarming, I'll then get it. But if it won't, that's then we don't have time to wait any longer. But I do hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have, please do drop a like or a comment, or even subscribe or share if you want to. It would really help. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.